So first of all, JNX, thanks for accepting this interview for Nexus. So today we want to come back on the game you just played against Rogue. So what are your first impression and on your team and on your personal performance for today's match?
I think we played pretty poorly today. Like usually when we go on stage, we don't do the mistakes that we do in scrims often, but I feel like today that was different. I think today we did the mistakes that we usually do. And for my own performance, I think the second game I could have done a lot more. But besides that, I think I'm okay with how I played.
Let's take game one by one. So for first game, you guys decided to draft Vi, qu'on, Rejouer, which is not very usual when we see more Vi with a lot of follow-up like Ari or overengage. What explained this choice of double ADC with Vi?
I mean, we also had Rumble, which is kind of like a cheat code in draft where you can draft anything in terms of damage and you will have enough damage because Rumble does so much damage. And I think Vi Rumble together as a combo is already enough for the Vi to have her use. And the rest is just comfort picks. So yeah, that's why we drafted those gems.
Okay, thank you. Despite some difficulties in the early game, you managed to pull out some incredible flanks and teamfight later in the game. How did you come back such in a strong position?
I think in that game, since I was matching their bot lane, it was really hard for me to play. And then I got behind from that. And then later on, into the Galio, I can just farm up. And I think we set me up really well in the first 1 or 2 team fights, and I got strong from that. And once I have 2 items, I was basically stronger than my opponent, even though my score maybe didn't say it. So it was just like I play so much Rumble, so I'm just confident in my Rumble. Even if I was like 0-5-0, I think I would still do the same things.
Okay. Passing on to game 2, the choice of Gurgot was pretty surprising. Could you please tell us why you chose this pink and what were the goals you wanted to achieve during this game?
I mean, Urgot is an all-time classic for me. Like, I always have played it. I think it's okay in Turn-Besser. It's not like a winning matchup besides the very early game. But I saw that we had like a good front-to-back team comp with a lot of lockdown CC. And the enemy team had midi champions like Pantheon and Alistar, who have a hard time tanking CC if there's an Urgot, because with my ulti I can execute them when we play front-to-back team fights properly. But we didn't manage to play on our timers that game, so my pick looked a bit useless, I think.
Still was a really good pick, to be honest. On the opposite of the first 2 games, on game 3, Rogue took a considerable, very early game in game 3. Do you think it was draft related or maybe because of some other mistakes, maybe?
I think draft related, we had to take it slow that game. And we did some mistakes level 1, and I think the game went out of our hand really, really early because of that. And probably we could have played more stalling, more looking to get items instead of trying to contest them. And then the game maybe would have been longer. Probably would have been a good idea with Victor and Sivir. But yeah, I think we lost that game very early on, and then with our draft, it's really difficult to stabilize into a, like Tristana champion, for example.
Okay, thank you for the question for this match, JNX. During your career, you started as a mid laner first, and now it's been 5 years you world swapped into top lane. What engaged you doing this, and maybe do you consider another world swap in the future?
The reason I swapped back then was mostly because of champion pool and also a bit of communication patterns on mid lane that didn't fit me too well. Where on top lane you're a bit more isolated. And yeah, like back then I was playing Aatrox mid lane a lot. I was playing Urgot mid lane, Cyan mid lane, and those all went into top lane. So I just decided the top lane would be more natural fit for me. And I'm not considering swapping another time. I think it would be fun to try out another role, but I won't do that probably.
So you think you found your ideal position?
Yes.
Okay.
If they would make Aatrox a jungler, Gragas a jungler, Silas a jungler, Na a jungler, then I probably will swap to jungle. But I am where my champions are, basically.
Alright, it seems fair, to be honest. You've played a lot again under SK Gaming organization. Was it just a coincidence, or were there other reasons during all those years, except for the 2024 year, which you played with the BDS banner?
I mean, for back in the day, it was because they were the team that had an LEC Academy team, so I really wanted to, in the German scene, so I really wanted to join them, and I did, and then I was playing in the Academy team, then LEC, roleswap, everything, and then when I now made my way back into the LEC, it was like my... they were the only ones that gave me trust to play in the LEC again, so it was a no-brainer for me to say yes.
Okay. You already played a lot with Keduii Reeker in BDSA in LFL, where you won a lot of trophies last year. How does it feel to be reunited again with both of them in a team, but this time in LEC?
I mean, it's really nice. It's really fun to play with them, especially Keduii always brings a really bright mood into any team. So I'm really happy to play with them. And yeah, I hope we can also bring back maybe the trophy winning into this year.
Of course. Can you tell us a bit more about the synergy with your new jungler Boukada?
I think it's super easy to work with Boukada. I feel like he plays with a lot of systems, not so much on instincts, more like he knows what he wants to do and he does it. And as long as you plot in the correct communication, then he will be there for you. If you tell him, I need you in 2 waves, then he will be there in 2 waves. So he's really easy to play with, to be honest. Whereas before we had with Isma and double Korean bot side, we had a lot of problems with like the communication. It was a lot of instinctive play, not so much connection, and Boukada came in and it was immediately different, which was better for us.
Do you think this kind of problem of communication, for example, we see players like Kana who had to learn English when they arrived in LEC. Do you think this kind of problem can really have a really important impact on the results of the team?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think communication is everything in League, especially when it comes to reviewing the game and stuff. And it's just like, if you have a really talented player, but they cannot tell what they want to do, they cannot explain it to you, then it's really difficult to make it work.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's really important.
What are your new objectives for this year, for the team, and of course for yourself?
I think we take it step by step. Like right now, this lose to Rogue is pretty bad, but if I'm honest, we also won against Fnatic, so you could just say that we won against Rogue, we lost to Fnatic, and then suddenly it's completely fine. So we are trying to reach playoffs, and I think we had a pretty tough schedule so far, where we played a lot of good teams. Like now, I think it's only Madcoy and G2 from the teams I consider good that we have left to play, and we still play against Vitality, we still play against Team Heretics. So I expect us to make playoffs this split, and that's also what we are aiming for.
Are you confident for those matches?
Yeah.
It's good to hear. Before we finish, do you have a message for your supporters?
Thank you everyone for supporting us. I know it's been a really roller coaster year and also a roller coaster split, to be honest. We're putting in the work every day to try to make it more stable. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it along the way, and hopefully we'll have a good ending together.
All right. Thanks a lot, JNX, for this interview. We wish you good luck for the next matches.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye.